Yeah, I was doing that literally yesterday with, by the way, BTW, right? But it capitalised it. So I have a BTW lowercase and it capitalised it. I was, no, delete, did it again, it capitalised it again. Because, and then went, by the way, I want it to just be...
Oh, I see.
By the way.
I see. I thought you were spelling by the way, and I was like, I don't think that's how you spell by the way.
Yeah,
you were using the short form. I was like,
short form.
BTW. It's like, am I being an idiot here? But no, I get it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, really good to see you, Dave. By the way, can you bring some milk over?
Yeah, that's right. It's ridiculous.
Imagine if Siri read it out that way as well.
Every time you capitalise something, she
shouts it.
I have ordered your milk. By the way, don't forget the pizza. Yeah.
You'd fuck with it, wouldn't you? Because you'd text your friends knowing they're on loudspeaker.
Yeah.
So
You'd capitalise gonorrhea, wouldn't you? Yeah. Oh, hello, Dave. I have got you a cream for the gonorrhea.
Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it?
I mean, if you could spell, I could not spell gonorrhea if you paid me. It's got a G.
Is an H in there, isn't there?
I think there's H's, O's, E's. I think all the vowels.
Gonorrhea.
No, it's got an I in it. Ear.
Gonorrhea. Gonorrhea.
So it probably looks like something like gonorrhea.
Gonorrhea. It almost sounds like gone astray. It's just gonorrhea. Which is almost like, it's like being promiscuous. You sort of you stray away from.
Yeah. Which
just gonorrhea.
And then you'll get
gonorrhea.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah. Listen up, kids.
Never shake hands with a student. That's been my philosophy for a long time.
Never shake hands with a student?
Yeah, riddled.
Really? Gonorrhea.
All young, generally, sub 25, avoid physical contact. Like shaking hands. Riddled. Because when we were young, we were told to fall in love.
Were we?
Yeah. Oh, clearly I was listening. Didn't have any bloody sex. Never had the chance to catch it.
Fall in love? Okay, that's just hard work.
You fell in love with somebody, yeah. That's what Mum always said.
That's the way you said that. That's what Mum always said. Which ties in to the name of this podcast.
Oh, yes.
So
still wondering.
Yeah. Should we sort of officially start the podcast?
Yeah. Why not?
I'm looking at the microphone as well. I'm hoping it's picking it up. Let's just sort of look at this.
You sort of want validation, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, headphones can do this.
I'm enjoying the chat anyway. But yeah, be good if it records.
I hope so. So if you're listening to this, we've decided to call this podcast. We spent a good hour thinking about this. We've called it "Still Wondering." Do you want to tell the listeners why?
Yeah, and we went for wandering with an A in the end. Because I tell you what it is that, well, we're brothers. We should say.
Yes.
Matt and Chris Lamotte, and we've been brothers for as long as we can remember.
For my whole life, actually.
Yeah, almost literally, exactly. And like I was there the day you were born.
I was going to say I was there at the conception.
It's probably in a adjacent room, probably.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Hopefully, dead to the world. Jesus.
I think there's something else there.
Ooh, shudder. And we've, I don't know. We're I guess really of an age where stuff's happened in our lives, and you get into your 30s, and then you think, oh, life. What's that all about then?
Yeah.
Because suddenly you kind of see that there's a bit less track ahead of you than sort of this infinite mass of years. It's sort of, you start thinking, well, hang on a minute, big milestones approaching, and relationships have happened, and cars and houses and all sort of adulty type things. And I think we just, every time we talk, we end up talking about sort of profound big things and also little things. But the whole sum of these things is that we haven't figured it out.
No.
And like we're kind of meandering with some purpose, hoping we're getting it right, but we are kind of wandering.
Yeah, and I think everyone's making it up as they go along.
Yeah.
I think even because when I was a kid, you look at mum and dad, it's like, oh, they know everything. But literally, they're the be all end all of all knowledge. Then you get to the same age, because I think dad was. Dad would have been 25. Mum must have been.
Don't get this wrong. She's a little bit older, isn't she?
31?
No, not that much older. It's like 3 years, I think.
Is it 3 years?
Something like that.
25? I think he was 25. Well, then that makes mum. Well, they were both in their 20s anyway. Their 20s, early 30s. I don't remember birthdays, let alone what years people were born. And they were making up as they go. I don't know any. I mean, come on. And I think that goes. I mean, Grandad was in his 90s. He was still making up as he went along. So I think everyone's just making it up and wondering just as much as we are. So yeah, that's kind of what the premise of the podcast is.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like you say, it gives us free range to talk about pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we need, because we don't have the capacity to organise the podcast either.
Organise our thoughts. It is just chat about stuff, and we'll hit on some things that hopefully people find vaguely interesting.
So that's what we're calling it. Still wondering. So, with that in mind, we're into the new year, bro. What have you got planned for, like, what was your...
This year is the first in many I've made. I'm not calling them resolutions, just because, I'm cool. I'm calling them goals. Like 2022 goals. It's always a good time of year to kind of reset and think about, okay, what do you want to achieve? And and so I've got some kind of bigger things and some smaller things, and some of the smaller things are like buy more houseplants. Very achievable, so I know I can tick the box.
You're definitely in your 30s.
Buy more houseplants.
Can I ask why?
Because I'll tell you what it was. I went to some friends over Christmas, Craig and Trish, and entered via the back passage through their sort of lean-to area. Cheeky. And they just had loads of plants. And I thought, oh, this is nice, loads of plants. And I thought, well, I haven't really got many plants, so I want to put more plants in. But I don't want to go too jungly, but just, I think they're good. And I'm working from home vast majority of the time now, so kind of make it more organic. As long as I get ones that you can literally just throw some water at every couple of weeks and they somehow stay alive. That's the only restriction I've got.
I mean, these two, I can't remember what the name of this is. It's probably still got its thing in, but that's lasted I don't know how long, but at least 6 months. The terrarium has lasted since my birthday.
Okay.
Very little, both of them very little maintenance. I did have another one of these and I overwatered it.
Okay.
Because I had a habit of just giving it a bit of water every now and again. I ended up killing it.
Okay.
So what I actually did was I put the pot inside a pot and I put gravel on the pot so it couldn't then.
Right.
So if any excess water, it'd leak down. So I kind of packed my own thing. But now, they've both survived.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's what I need. A couple of fairly unkillable plants. And I got a reading list. I want to get back into habitual reading. Because throughout, even since I was a kid, I know I always enjoyed reading. I wasn't like one of these sort of... I can't think of that word is where people just read, consume books, like breathe them in.
A geek.
Yeah, well, maybe. yeah, some kind of twat. No, I've never been like a bookworm, but I've always enjoyed a bit of reading, and it's good for you. I think it sort of changes it stops you worrying about, or hopefully stops you worrying about other stuff that's happening, and you kind of focus in on these words and. An interesting story or whatever. So I've got but I've only got 6 books on it. But if I read 6 books this year, that'll be 6 more than I read last year, and should get me into an habitual reading pattern. And then I've got some other ones. Continue losing some weight so I don't die too young, and do some more travelling. I want to get to hopefully another 3 countries this year. That will keep me on track for all the European countries by the age of 40, which is a.
Where have you got left?
Okay, so we've got Finland. We'll go from in latitude order.
Okay.
So Finland, Latvia, Belarus, Moldova, Andorra. I shouldn't have picked going by latitude because I'm going to get unstuck. But okay, Bulgaria, Kosovo, North Macedonia, Albania, Serbia.
I couldn't even name that many countries.
I can name them all because I've spent a lot of time looking at the maps. It's true.
Could you name them all?
I can name, yeah, very easy. Name
I won't.
every country in Europe.
Oh, in Europe, I thought the world.
You haven't got a reference list. Oh no, in the world, God no. There
No.
are some really obscure countries in the whole world. It's like when you watch the Olympics. What?
Where?
And there's like it's two of them, and they look so proud. These two people flying a flag nobody's ever heard of.
Well, they should be, I suppose.
They're not going to win anything. They're just like entered a competition on the cornflakes box or something to be there. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, you're
Enter
right.
your obscure country here.
Yeah, they don't even have mobiles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The Americans and Chinese turn up, and there are thousands of athletes. You know, you just think, a bit cocky.
They win everything.
And then you see, I don't know, Tuvalu.
Is that a place?
Yeah.
Tuvalu,
yeah. It's a Pacific island. In the Pacific.
I was going to say, I have no idea.
It's not far. It's like a short flight from Fiji.
Okay. All right, I've heard of Fiji.
Really in the middle of the Pacific somewhere. Yeah, Tuvalu. So yeah, they're talking about Tuvalu. They probably haven't got any athletics equipment. It's probably really unfair to the people of Tuvalu. They might have like massive complexes. But I've seen a picture of it, and it's just like a ring of island, like sinking volcanic island.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, almost like Atlantis. Because it wasn't Atlantis a circle?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I never thought of that. Maybe Atlantis was just like a volcanic residual, whatever you'd call that, mass of land that's flooding.
Yeah.
Because we're melting the ice caps.
Well,
Allegedly.
Don't want to piss off any flat earthers, do we?
No.
It's not real. Don't know. So, what was I saying?
Health travel.
Yes, and release more music.
Release more music.
That would be a good goal for this year. So I've been in touch with Johnny, and he's up for cracking out the old guitar and vocals and getting some more daft and ridiculous music done. So that'd be good.
Awesome. And is there like a number of singles or albums, or does it just continue?
Just even if it was a single, I think that would be good for us because we don't put too much kind of, we must do that. We must do this. It's more, no, do it because it stays fun. We've got a lot of songs in the bag, so we could easily do another album. So we'll see how it goes, and I think it'll be at least an EP, but it might be another album.
Wicked.
Which would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, when you put out the original music, I was so proud of you doing that because it was over COVID, completely remote. And I just don't like when you're in a band, and because you used to be in a band, you had the motivation like between you all and the kind of the excitement of going to the studio and that kind of stuff, and suddenly doing it on your own and just doing it. And I don't know, it just takes a lot to be able to do that, like a lot of dedication to sit down, write the lyrics, and then figure out the music, and then get it mastered and put all the pieces in place. It's one of them things where you think, oh, how would that ever happen? And it was a chance conversation with good friends Ben and Alex and Johnny, and we flippantly said, oh, what are you doing over lockdown? Oh, nothing, just surviving. And then said, why don't we do some more music? And I said, well, I haven't got all the gear, I thought you'd need a full home studio mixing down. And they said, you don't need that. You free software, you just need a gadget to plug your stuff into the computer. And so I bought like a £3 adapter thing from eBay, and then a couple of weeks later I was like, oh, recording it sounded all right. So I started sort of stringing it together in some sort of order, bass lines in some sort of order, and then sent it off. And a couple of weeks later, Johnny had done a bit of guitar over one of them, and we said, oh, wow, look at us. Why don't we do a bit more of this? And good. Yeah. So it helped to fill that sort of lockdown void with something very, very positive. So that was fantastic. It was great to be doing music again because we didn't do it for years. So yeah, make it last. And also the difference in style, because you're from a heavy metal background, and then you're making stuff. By the way, it's called JMOTS.
Oh yeah, better mention it.
If you want to stream it on your streaming platforms, whatever they say.
Anyone you want, they're all of them. It's on all of them.
There we go, JMOTS.
Yeah.
Yeah, very different style of music, and I know you've done a few interviews, and I don't know whether you post-rationalised your reasons for making it, or whether you, like, was it your goal to make, like, music to make people feel cheery, or was that, like, a post-rationalisation for the sake of the PR?
No, I don't think we set out for it to be quite so daft and whimsical. No, I don't think we did. I think we just said, oh, let's make it funky. And that was the only aim, really. There was no other... But that was quite good in a way, because then what we ended up doing was fairly organic, rather than, we want it to be sounding like this and a bit like them, but not quite like, it was very much sort of... And I didn't... Like with Johnny, I just do like a baseline arrangement, sent it to him without any steer. I never said to him, I want that bit heavier, I want that bit, try whatever. It was literally just, there you go, Johnny, and... he just did whatever he liked over it, and every time it came back, it was like, "Oh, that's great."
On to the next one.
Yeah, it was great, And then doing lyrics again, we weren't too kind of fussy, going, "Oh, we shouldn't sing about this, that, or the other." It was just, let's be a bit daft. Johnny had come over one day, and we had cheese rolls, and so one of the songs we were working on was called "Cheese Rolls" as a working title, and then when we came to do lyrics, it ended up being "Stars of Cheese." Just, yeah. Very just there's no engineering involved in terms of direction of lyrical content or anything like that. So, but that has been one of the joys about it. Actually, it's not forced. Oops.
It's a still.
Should leave it alone.
It's available in the description.
This still. It's a good sturdy still. Whoever made it.
The same person's a t-shirt.
Yeah. It's at wish.com. But how about you? What have you come into 2022 kind of aiming for, resolved?
So my word for the year, as wanky as that sounds, but my word for the year is consistency.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed in the last year that I'm a bit of a magpie with projects. So I put all my energy into this one thing, and then I just lose interest very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And I did one of those, it's the Myers-Briggs personality things. Yeah. Which you've done of them as well.
Yeah.
And it described my personality, and apparently they know that as well. So when I read that, it kind of articulated this behaviour, which I was like, oh shit, that's really what I do. So yeah, at the beginning of lockdown, I created a digital wedding fair with somebody I didn't know, but we ended up being friends, Emily from Thatcher and Roses, with a bunch of wedding suppliers, and that was really like intense for about a month, 2 months of like. I pulled a few all-nighters doing this thing, putting the videos together, but it was a really good thing. And then once that kind of dipped and we were starting to get a bit of hope about COVID, little did we know there was no hope for another year. Just all interest. When Emily was like, I have the energy for this, and I need to work on my own business stuff, I thought I could take it on because I saw business potential in it. And then I just realised 2 weeks later, like, I'm not enjoying it. Why am I doing this? And I think I've noticed that pattern going through my life with lots of different things I've tried to start and then stopped. So this year is the year of consistency and trying to say no more to myself and to other opportunities that come along. So yeah, this year, gone.
So that you can commit to the project in hand or projects in hand rather than kind of go, oh, that's shiny, I'm going to start doing that now. Yeah.
I'm starting to regret using the signing books. It's so loud.
It is. We got this squeaky.
For those that can't see this, we improvised this. We're filming this for YouTube just because we didn't have a table, so we've got an ironing board between us.
We felt we needed something in the middle to make it look
balanced
and authentic, and the ironing board just screamed authenticity. It is garish in design. Other designs, I'm sure, are available at Brabantia. That's a really weird name, isn't it? Brabantia.
We're not sponsored by them. But...
Well, no, I've slagged them off a bit, actually. They're not going to either. You are not getting a free ironing board. I don't have an ironing board if the good people at Brabantia are watching this.
It's bad when you have to look at the name to remember it, isn't it? You're trying to say a brand's name, you have to look at it and read it before you can say it. That's just...
It's just the B's and there's a lot going on there.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're hearing that noise, that's because we're knocking an ironing board. We'll probably leave it in because it's now turned into a bit of a gimmick, I feel.
I think so.
But yes, it's consistency.
Yeah.
Is the main thing. Saying no to things in order to give me the space to just focus on one thing at a time. So this year, so YouTube's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just started a YouTube channel last year. It's almost this time last year now.
Yeah.
I put my first video up of like properly trying to give it a go at YouTube. I haven't been consistent with that in the last year. So this year it's 1 video a week minimum is my goal. So if I can stick to that, then great. The second thing is going to the gym. I've put 4 times a week.
That's ambitious.
It is. I was in that routine though.
Right.
I did get into a good routine of waking up early, like 6 o'clock in the morning, going to the gym, and then getting out of the way in the mornings. I think I'm now listening to my body more, and I've got the freedom where I don't have to go in the morning. I can go into the lunch, or I can go in the evening. So I'm not holding myself too strictly. It's just get to the gym. But yeah, 4 times a week for now, and I'm going to see how that goes and see if that's sustainable over a period of time. It's going all right at the moment. It's a bit painful, but it's getting there. I also want to, like, wealth-wise, improve the business. I've now got a PA working for me, Colby, who's an absolute star and is just completely, like, yeah, if you can afford a PA, just do it, regardless of what you do. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm working with her to streamline the business and make that better, so I want to sort of improve that aspect of things. I'm doing a bit of passive income style stuff with Skillshare. I want to release a few courses on Skillshare this year.
Sure, is one of my aims as well.
Yes. Yeah, we need to get on with that as well, actually. And so yeah, health, wealth, well-being, I think. Yeah, I kind of want to sustain relationships, sort of be in contact with people more often. Like, I don't see enough of mum and dad, probably.
Right.
And you, I think over the last, 5 years or so, I probably haven't seen family as much as I feel I probably should have. And also friends. The main time I see friends is at magic related stuff or Zoom stuff with YouTube. I suppose I see people regularly there, but like old friends, like I saw Sam and Alex a couple of weeks ago. We went down the pub for a pint and had a catch up, and I hadn't seen them for like over a year.
Yeah.
That was really nice. But I don't feel as if I make enough phone calls or carve out enough time just to go and do nothing and just talk to people and just, shoot the shit.
And don't you come away from it thinking, oh, that was good?
Yeah.
Like, you laugh, because, with certain people you laugh. It's like when I'm with you, I laugh in a way that I wouldn't laugh with anybody else, because there's just nobody that understands, because we grew up liking the same humour. Yeah. So whenever I come away, and I always, always think, oh God, that was, it was good. It was a laugh. We just sort of trigger each other quite a lot. So, that's really good. Really good you've done that.
Yeah, that's kind of that's my yearly thing. I've got a few other things like learning the piano is another thing. Reading more because I bought all of these books. I couldn't. I've probably read about 2 to 10% of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them are referenced, to be fair, and magic related, and that's fine. And some of them are just sort of part of bulk buys and stuff. But I've got a bunch of business books which I've bought with the intention of reading and never got around to reading them. So I want to get into the habit of just reading, and I've put it down to a process goal, so it's 30 pages a day, rather than a destination goal, which is read 50 books in a year. Yeah, it's just get one thing done.
It'll add up to the...
Yeah. So that's my goal with that. And yeah, that's everything really. That's kind of what my goal is to just stay consistent, and if I fall off the barrel, get back on again and just try really hard.
Yeah, well, that's all you can do, isn't it? Not beat yourself up too much if some of it doesn't work out. And you might achieve other things which weren't on your list, just by accident sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think it's a good way of looking at it, actually. Health, wealth, well-being. And for me, some of my well-being comes from, looking after my health, losing weight, making sure I'm going out and walking regularly. But it also comes from achieving things. Like, I know if I've got a trip to plan, I get a lot of enjoyment out of going, figuring out, we stay in that hotel or Airbnb or whatever. Okay, there's these attractions there, there's those attractions there, and just figuring out roughly what I'm going to do with that time in a particular place. And then I come back and I think, great, I've been there, it was a great place, I really enjoyed it, met some cool people. And tick as well. There's that satisfaction to kind of go, great, have you ever been to XYZ? And go, yeah, I went there, I had a great time. I really liked this bit or that bit.
Yeah.
Like we went to Estonia the other day, and it's cool because
kick into cock.
we went to Kick into Cock, and we spent hours in Kick into Cock, and the guy on reception didn't get it, did he? I referenced it, or I laughed at
either he's heard it a lot and he just ignored it, he chose to ignore it, or he didn't get it, and I think it's probably the former. I think he probably just gets it a lot.
He probably just thought I was a bit of a twat.
Maybe.
Yeah, fair enough.
But then he works
in a place Kick into Cock. Right.
So
it's in the job description.
Yeah.
It's in the advert. We seek somebody with a high tolerance of people making the same fucking joke. That was awesome. They were really, really good. Kick into Cock was good, but Tallinn was really, really good.
I would go back.
Yeah, it's a lovely little place.
I'd even go back just to sort of do, like, if I was going to sit down and do a lot of writing or something, I'll just go back so you can wander around the streets while it was dark but still in the day. It was so picturesque and so quiet, and I don't know if that's it was as a result of COVID, as we found out we're talking to some of the restaurateurs.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, but I would go back because of that, because it was so quiet and almost desolate at night. And
we had it to ourselves, didn't we, walking about, which is, for a place like Tallinn, it's a really popular place for years and years and years, swamped with tourists in the height of summer. So, okay, we didn't go in the height of summer, we went in November. No. It was really cold, but it was very enjoyable and peaceful, and just what I needed at that time as well. So, yeah. And I'd been thinking about Tallinn for a long time. It had always been really high on the list. I just, for some reason, other places had gotten in. So to finally do it and see it for myself and see these pictures in front of you, see it for real, is that gives me like a well-being boost. So that's how it relates to my well-being.
Right. Do you think that's because you see the pictures and you kind of build up this plan in your head, and then the actualization is almost like the release of...
I think it is, yeah. It's partly the plan coming together that, I plan to see this thing, I plan to see that place, or eat in that restaurant, or do that walk, or whatever. And then you kind of do it, and it feels good to have achieved it in a way. As long as you remember to enjoy it whilst you're there as well, not kind of think of it as some kind of tick box exercise. It's to kind of stop and go, wow, that does look great. And no wonder people have been taking pictures of it since cameras were invented, because it is just a great thing to look at.
It's interesting because I think that some people go spend all this time meticulously planning their trip, and then they plan and that they put so much into a day that they're literally just going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, not enjoying the present moment. They're looking forward to getting to the next bit.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Have you experienced that?
I think a little bit. Like, I would say when we went to Rome, actually, many, many years ago, we went with our respective partners, and I just remember us charging around for 3 days straight, seeing a lot of different things, which was good, but it was probably a bit too much in terms of too much walking and stuff like that. But one of the best things I remember is when we went to the seaside. Yep. Because it was different. It was end of January, but it was reasonably warm.
We're in t-shirts on the beach.
Yeah.
A hot chocolate, I think I remember.
That's right, yeah. And we wanted to get away from the city and the traffic, and Rome's an incredible place, but it is a living, breathing, big city. And we did. We got a metro for like €1 out to, I think it was called Ostiolido, something like that. And it was just a lovely beach, deserted. Yeah. And it was just that I enjoyed. We didn't really do anything there other than just get a hot chocolate and walk along the beach. And it was just really lovely.
And that was before the trip properly started, wasn't it? Or was that afterwards? Because
I think
it was us two, Mum and Dave. I don't know if they were there or not.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Did we arrive early?
Yeah, I think we did. I think we went like a day or two ahead of them. Then they came. I don't know why.
Is that right? Because anyway, yeah, I was going to say, because when we were in that taxi and it took us like the long way round.
Yes.
Was that with us? That was with Dave. Yeah. I thought he was in the car with.
No, that was just the four of us. Because I remember saying to you, I'd looked at it on Google Walk. I'd literally done the walk from the place to our hotel, and you're like, now let's get a taxi. And then, €20 later.
Yeah. And it literally just gone like that.
He just done a loop.
Just massive loop.
Rip us off, yeah.
Yeah. Bastard. But no, that was really. I enjoyed that trip to the beach, and you're right. It was that moment of sort of like the calm. There was no agenda that day. It was let's go do something. We'll go to the beach, and it was unexpected to see a beach in Rome. You just don't put the two together.
Yeah.
It was really lovely. I remember that.
And it's another reason when we were in Tallinn, we had that option on it was your second day and my third, I think, of going across on the ferry to Helsinki, and I'm so pleased we opted not to do that. Because it would have been, we would have been there for the day. I had a list of stuff to see in Helsinki, but it would have been kind of move on, because we've got to get the ferry back. Whereas I preferred what we did was kind of, we had a good look around that evening, and then we'd seen that there were, like the puppetry place we wanted to go to. We wanted to see, for you to be able to see some more stuff in the daylight as well. And there were two or three other things we thought, we could do this and we could do that. And just kind of breathe in a bit more of Tallinn, rather than say, okay, done Tallinn, next. Yeah. It was nice just to linger that bit longer where we were. And then you've already committed to coming to Finland with me, so I shall cash that in.
Yeah, and we can do that soon, actually, February if you want.
Well, it's my birthday.
We can do it for your birthday.
Finland might be a bit bleak in February, but doesn't matter. Yeah,
I'm happy.
They're happy.
Less people.
Exactly.
So, in fact, as a result of Tallinn, I probably want to go to places where there are less people.
Yeah.
So the colder months, I'm not too bothered about it. Doesn't really, like, people go on holiday just to sit in the sun for months and be surrounded by other people, and it's just not appealing at all.
Yeah. There is something about being on a beach, isn't there, when you're bored, and then you get in there, you relax, and you start getting into your book, and then over your shoulder you hear, like, Steve, you got more sundown cream? And you just think, oh... God, I think it's actually English people I don't like abroad.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is.
Because you got the Italians there and they look beautiful, and other nationalities. I think it's partly you don't understand what they're saying. You can't
understand what they're saying.
They're probably doing the same thing.
But in Italian.
Yeah, Gunther, wo ist die Sonnencreme? I'm making it up now, but... Bitte. Of course they say please.
Yeah. Steve, there's chips, please.
Please, yeah.
I think there is something about... Yeah, and you've got all of the stuff that's associated with that, and you just don't want to be around that anymore. And I think the reason you go on holiday is to get away from other people. And maybe it's not necessarily people, it's just people that you understand. Because I don't mind... You just can't get annoyed at people if you don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's like my neighbours. They row all the time. They're noisy buggers. They'll probably never see this, thankfully. Portuguese, I haven't got a clue what they're saying. And it just makes it all the more tolerable.
Yeah.
Whereas if I could really... If they were speaking it, I would tune in to what they're saying.
Yeah, get sucked into their argument.
And I'm naturally a nosy person, so I would...
Yeah. Yeah, so would I.
Would want to know what the ending was.
I'll turn the mute on and...
Oh.
You know...
Yeah, I do.
Pour out a drink.
Yeah, do. That's interesting. Did he?
That's how it starts, man. That's how it starts.
That's right.
Next to you at the window.
Going on.
There she is. She's gone to work. She won't know. She won't have enough fun tonight. That's more reason to learn Portuguese, is to figure out who's who.
Yeah, figure out what's going on. Is it about her mother? Is it about the dog? Is it...
It's the mistress.
It's hard to know. It's hard to know, actually, sometimes if they're
arguing. Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, I think when I was around last, they were watching the football, or they were playing computer games. I couldn't figure out which.
Yeah.
But the regularity of the cheers, it felt like it was something like that.
Yeah. Trying to figure it out.
But I think going away on holiday and just being around no one, Tallinn just gave me like a taste of what that's like, and I really enjoyed it.
To be somewhere that's really, really beautiful, like completely beautiful, really, really nice, and not have the crowds. Because we did that. I remember us going to Vatican. I remember us going to Sistine Chapel.
Yep.
And it was shoulder to shoulder, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. We saw the Sistine Chapel. It's good to see it. But my overriding memory is shuffling through like sheep.
Right.
I remember that bit as much as I do looking at the ceiling going, oh, there is the Sistine Chapel ceiling.
I'm trying to remember that part of the trip. I do remember going into I remember St. Peter's Square.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the big oak, the 4 pillars. I can't remember. Is that the Sistine Chapel? Is it in there? It was on that same bit.
I remember pillars.
There was like big oak carved, like it was like a 4 things going up into a massive cathedral-y vibe.
Right.
Is that Sistine Chapel?
It's probably the St. Peter's Basilica, which is next to the Sistine Chapel. Is kind of like next to
the next door. Yeah, I'm merging the two together. But I went again with Kate a couple of years ago, and I think Kate paid. We went for Kate's birthday, or did we? We went to Italy. I can't remember. Or was it for my birthday? God, I can't remember. Anyway, we went to Rome, and Kate had bought these VIP tickets to then do like a walk around.
Oh yeah.
And there was, because it was like out of season, so it was it wasn't like super duper busy, but we had also got this kind of fast pass thing. I think we looked at it and thought it wasn't really worth it in the end, but we got to walk around and there was barely anyone around.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so you could walk around, take photos and take your time rather than feeling like shoulder to shoulder and busy.
Actually, I do think it's worth doing that sometimes. It's like I've got escape lounge passes with this bank add-on thing.
Right.
So whenever I go to Stansted or other airports, before we went to Tallinn, we went into the escape lounge.
Before we went to where?
Tallinn. No,
did we?
We didn't fly
No,
out
we
together,
didn't.
did we? I was on my own. I went on my.
Oh right.
If you were.
If I was with you, I would have got like a VIP.
You would have been in the VIP lounge.
Oh
yeah.
bugger.
Yeah.
Was it nice?
It's nice. I mean, I go in there every time. Anything to prevent mixing with the general public is money well spent. It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's not a joke.
Sort of a joke. Yeah. It's well worth it. I mean, I get like 6 passes a year. So when we go to Helsinki,
I'm sold.
It is actually worth getting to the airport a little bit earlier, just to spend a bit more time in the lounge and get your money's worth.
Okay.
Because you get food and drinks.
For free?
And just generally nicer.
For free?
Yeah.
Free food and free drinks?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like buffet style.
Oh.
A few hot options, a few cold options.
What kind of buffet? Are we talking like hotel, kind of continental buffet? Or are we talking like we're at a funeral and there's a table with some nibbles on?
More like a hotel.
Like a continental breakfast?
There's some hot options there, a bit of sausage and... Well, it's normally... For some reason, I always seem to get early flights. I think I prefer them, weirdly. So, yeah, it's always like breakfasty things, a bit of bacon and egg and... So you can have a...
Okay.
But you have to have it with, like, comedy cutlery, because obviously you're airside and you can't take sharp knives. So you get, like, these child cutlery.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So you're better off just using your hands.
Well, yeah, but you can't do that with baked beans. That's so good.
Yeah,
love baked beans.
Fair enough.
Well worth doing. Yeah, I've been in the VIP lounge in Nice. That was quite nice. Luton, they had let some riffraff in at Luton.
You're in Luton.
Well, yeah, that's part of the problem.
No offence to Luton listeners, but you know where you live. Yeah.
That's right. The airport is the most redeeming feature.
Do you know, I once did a gig for I'm a magician by trade, and I did a gig for a couple, and all of their friends. So he was a police officer. I think they both were actually. I might be making that up, but anyway, all the friends seem to be police officers. And I very rarely stay on and have a chat and a drink, but they sort of said, "Oh, do you want to stay and have a drink and have a chat?" So fine. Yeah, I never tend to, but
people worth my talking energy.
Yeah. It does get exhausting after. Yeah. Anyway, and they were saying, I was asking what they do. They're police officers and where they are in Luton, and they genuinely said, and this wasn't like said in a jokey way. It's like, yeah, just don't go around Luton at the night time on your own. Like,
oh, really?
Just avoid it.
Wow.
I was like, okay. And I've been watching. I actually binge watched. I can't remember the name of the program, but it's like police officers in like the Luton police station is like the focus of the show, and they're like they're like following where they're going there, and then you see the footage of them at the desk and all that kind of stuff in the cell. They tell you a story about what they've done and who they are, and it's all in Luton, and you just only kind of solidified that idea of just avoid Luton because it's full of criminals and criminal activity, and it's just a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're able to put this out, but this is
this is B-roll. Could just put it on mute and I was just conversing. What a shit place it is. Let's all just agree. I'd rather die than go there again. Apart from the airport, because there are some good routes out of Luton Airport.
Good routes.
There are good routes. Terrible people, just terrible, awful people. But yeah, it's a big EasyJet and Wizz Air base.
Oh, Wizz Air. Are they any good? Wizz Air?
I've never flown Wizz Air. It is. I'd like to do it. I know I'm going to be hugely disappointed, expecting it to be any different from Ryanair or EasyJet. But I just want to know where it is in the sort of the
pecking order.
The pecking order, yeah. Because you've got Ryanair. If something goes wrong, you are screwed. I've been there. Nothing. Yeah, you get nothing out of them. No help at all. EasyJet just feels slight. Always felt that a little bit more sort of, going onto an EasyJet plane, just that little bit, a peg above Ryanair. I want to know where Wizz Air is around these.
I mean, the only difference really is they don't charge you for like a napkin with your meal. If you want to pay for a meal on Ryanair, you've got to pay for it, and then you probably have to pay for the napkin. And if you want a knife and fork with that, you probably have to pay for that.
And if you want it in a container.
Yeah, and if you want the right amount of oxygen in your part of the plane, you probably have to pay for that.
Yeah.
Whereas EasyJet just kind of let that slide.
Yeah. They'll provide you with a napkin. It just felt, although they have changed their bag policy because they had a much better bag policy, they've now changed it to be like Ryanair. So I've EasyJet, Ryanair, I think are fighting for a race to the bottom.
It makes me anxious going on those flights with bags.
I was, because Tallinn was the first flight I'd done for best part of 2 years, and I was really anxious. What if I get it right? I nearly bought a bag thinking I couldn't possibly travel light. As it turns out, I could have travelled with a pan bag.
I with a rucksack, I think. Really small backpack.
You did. I was surprised you managed to travel that light as well. So we've proved we can easily do 3 nights.
Yeah.
On a just not a lot, which is great.
I'd say I could probably do 5 at a push, because all it really was, it used to be underwear and socks, 2 pairs of trousers, and then just shirts and a couple of jumpers, and you're good to go. And you're wearing half of that shit when you're on anyway.
Yeah.
And I need to tell you the shirts in the video that you didn't watch of mine about smelling nice. Those shirts are really good because
I didn't watch it. I just didn't watch that far into it.
You got bored. I get it. But yeah, there's these shirts which soak up your sweat, so you can wear the jumpers. You don't sweat through. They don't smell.
Okay.
And you can wear. So I wear them for work. So my shirts, I don't need to wash them every single time. I can get like 2 or 3 wears out of them, and that's fine. But yeah, if you get a couple of those shirts, you can wear them, and it will protect whatever you put on top of them. They're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. So if you've got one of the 2 of those in your bag, then you've got like 2 uses out of like topwear stuff. And jeans are jeans. Yeah. I'd take 2 just to a variety. There's no real need.
I'd get away with 1. The pair I'm wearing.
Right. Do you take comfy stuff for the evening though?
What did I
shorts?
do?
I can't remember.
I tell you what, I didn't, but actually I regretted it because I did think when we were kind of lazing about, I did think it would be nice to. No, I think I did.
I think you did.
I think I did.
I can't remember.
It's something I definitely think about. I'm conscious of as an older thing because I would never have done that. You're just in your trousers all the time, or your boxer shorts, and then whereas now I'm a bit like, I quite like to get the PJs on.
Yeah, get comfy.
They're very thin, aren't they? So you can just not going to take up much room, roll them up really, or take some old ones. Because another thing I did when going away was like,
this is your hack for getting rid.
This is a bit of a hack actually. If you've got underwear, socks, or t-shirts that are just a bit threadbare, or you think I've got too much of this. I'm just going to take them on holiday. Because if like in Tallinn, we were zipped up all day, so it didn't really matter what we looked like because we were jumpers and coats on. And then underneath you're getting a bit sweaty anyway. Well, it's going in the bin. Plus, the space you had in your bag for that t-shirt is now a space for a lovely mug or such.
Yeah. That's a great hack. Even when we went to, I can't remember the name of the place now, but we went away for a few days on that estate.
Welbeck.
There you go.
That's right. I ended up putting my underwear in the fire.
Yeah, we just burnt that up.
Burnt it.
There we go. So if you go away and you've got some old clothes, just throw them in the fire or throw them in the bin.
In the fire. Yeah, the bin's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good hack.
Thank you.
I've got like holy socks that I should probably throw out.
Probably should throw it. So why not, rather than bring them home again, say, that's it, you're going to die in foreign lands.
I'm not going to watch you burn.
If there's a fire, you're going in it.
You're going in it.
After I've worn them for a day. But
it also means I need to wash them.
Exactly. Come back, you think, what have I got to wash? Nothing, because I burnt it all.
Yeah. Literally, he burnt everything. I went away with a 20-kilo bag for 3 days, and I burnt it all.
Yeah.
Because then it's not your problem to deal with.
Yeah.
You've burnt all your clothes. It's somebody else's problem if the fire's now broken.
Yeah.
Or there's so much ash. You just don't want to deal with it.
I did wonder that. I wondered if the housekeeper at the Welbeck estate found just remnants of my underwear in the fire and then thought to themselves, what were they doing here?
Yeah. To
feel the need to burn their underwear.
You'd feel a bit creeped out if you saw that first before going to the bedrooms.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you'd be waiting for going, oh God, what's happened?
Why did they feel the need to burn clothes?
If we get a phone call from the Welbeck estate because they found your DNA.
My DNA.
I'd like to do
we
questions.
found DNA on the ceiling, on the walls, and in the fire.
I hope your DNA wasn't on the ceiling.
I wish.
Very healthy prostate you've got.
You could be. I can't carry on that line.
Yeah. It would be non-broadcastable. Let's hope you don't get a phone call. That's all I'm saying.
Pressure washer. Sorry. Oh dear. Yeah, that's the trouble. Where are we? What were we talking about?
Prostate health.
Prostate health, as far as I know, is fine. Good. But I think a couple more years and I start to get checked. The old...
Oh, really?
I think it's 40 I start getting summoned for sort of middle-aged diseases, like enlarged prostate.
Yeah, I've been checked before.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I had some... I don't know whether I'm going to put this in, but I had some bleeding. So I had to get it checked out.
Oh, okay. That's very sensible.
Yeah, the first thing that happened, because you see the adverts of all guys should get checked or that stuff. So I did get checked, as one should. And it was like the finger thing, and it was like, a bit wincy, wasn't particularly pleasant, very cold. And then they referred me on to have a colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy.
Colonoscopy, yeah. And they either put you under or you can stay awake. And I didn't want to go through the stress of being drowsy and drugged up and then feeling nauseous for the rest of the day. So I just said, I'll skip it.
Yeah.
And I got to look at the screen and see what was happening. And apparently I'm fine. Everything's all good.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. You've got to get these things checked out.
Yeah.
Sorry, it has just reminded me, and I do care about you talking about your health, but it reminded me of something funny that happened when I used to work at the hospital, and I was in the endoscopy clinic.
Right.
No, like the place where they do the endoscopy, the unit, whatever. And they were doing colonoscopy, and then they going round the bell, and they said, here is where the appendix should be, except you can't see it because there was a pea, a perfectly undigested pea, where the appendix opening to the appendix was. It just reminded me of that. It was an otherwise completely clear bowel, apart from a pea at the opening of the appendix.
And the whole point was to look at the appendix.
No, they were just.
It was just.
And
behind this P
was the opening to the appendix.
So what is?
Just like a perfectly placed P.
Oh, where is the appendix then?
It's off your large bowel.
That's connected to the
Yeah, it sort of shoots off from your large bowel.
Like a valve that goes into the... Or...
I don't know. Whatever the appendix used to do, because I don't think it does it. I think it's a redundant organ.
Yeah.
It put whatever it used to put, and I guess put it into the large bowel.
I didn't know. I thought the appendix was something that was like a separate organ that got fed. Do you mean like I mean, maybe my idea of how the body works is completely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of organs do, and they have but actually they're broken. Like the large bowel, for example, they've identified different parts of the large bowel that operate in really quite different ways. And I don't know the facts about this, but I think technically are different organs. So it's like organs within organs because they're doing a different function.
Okay, right.
Yeah, different.
The
parts.
definition of an organ puts them in the category of organ, but actually it's just your ass. Yeah. The big bit of bowel, the small bit of bowel. Yeah. And the appendix. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
No, you were talking about your health, prostates.
Yeah, that's all clear. That's all good.
Oh, good. I'm pleased. Sorry. Yeah. So was it cancer? No,
it wasn't cancer.
Sorry, we digressed.
Yeah. And on that note, I think that's probably a nice place to finish.
Yeah. Let's finish talking about your ass.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's finish 2022. Motivation. Yeah. I am feeling more motivated than I have for quite some time. And so I feel very confident this year is going to be a good year. And we're going to do this stuff as well, which is also on the list.
Yeah. Yes, this is we should say this is on the list.
Because we spoke over Christmas, didn't we? And said, let's do a thing. And you had this idea of us doing some kind of talking.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's going to kind of come out all right. And but yeah, there's no script really. It's just let's talk.
It's just let's just chat. And that's half of the point of this is not only for us to meet up every week. We might film... or record 2 in one sitting, because life gets in the way. But it's an excuse for us to meet up, have a chat, but it also gives us a bit of a creative outlet. And we've kind of wanted to make content before.
We do.
But never really found an avenue to do it and kind of dedicated something and sat down and figured it all out, which is why this is so easy, because it's just us sitting down and talking bollocks.
Yeah.
But people might find it entertaining and we'll have a laugh doing it, so why not do it anyway? And that feels good.
Yeah,
does feel good.
Yeah, I've actually enjoyed it more than I thought. I thought I'd be really distracted, and I keep thinking, oh, there's a camera, and am I supposed to look at a camera or something? But actually, for the most part, completely forgotten and just enjoyed the chat. So.
And hopefully that's a good thing, because if it's just us chatting and it's a load of bollocks, and we haven't thought about the viewers or the listeners, then maybe that's a bad thing in the context of a podcast / YouTube channel. But then that's the whole point of this, is to not make it about the podcast or YouTube channel. It's just us sitting down and chatting.
Yeah.
So regardless, but basically this is going to reveal whether we are entertaining to the masses, like just entertaining people.
Yes. Just naturally occurring. Yeah. People that you want to watch for some weird reason.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, I've seen YouTube videos of people eating, and apparently they've got millions of views. So I am confident. Do you know what I mean?
If we've got a following, if you're putting us in the category of just, if we're like one notch above people just sitting down and eating, I get the feeling that people watching us aren't going to be the kinds of people you want to hang around with. If that's where you're categorising us, we're gonna go on a live tour. Like, imagine, like 10 years from now, we've got, like, I don't know, a couple of hundred subscribers, and we go as a tour. We'll do one live show, and all the people that turn up are just fucking mental.
Yeah. Sexual deviance.
I tell you what, though, if we do put the Brabantia ironing boards, if they are a sponsor, every single one of those people will buy one.
I think Brabantia is Brabantia, isn't it? I think. I mean, I'm hoping that's where the success lies. Actually, It's going to be through affiliate linking of ironing boards.
We can. Well, I will put an affiliate link to Brabantia in the description down below.
Oh, why not?
I will.
That'll be a laugh.
Yeah. To this exact board.
Oh, I so want them to comment. Do you think they'll comment?
No, I doubt it.
I mean, that would be an achievement. I might put it on the list, actually, for 2022. Just getting the ironing board company to
sponsor us.
Just comment would be fine.
Comment. All right. I mean, we could probably make that happen.
I mean, I don't want to do it a disservice. If they want to sponsor, what does that mean? They just give us money.
They give us money for talking about their brand, but to be fair, if they listen to the first episode and we've already got this as like some kind of a gimmick, and we've mentioned their name a good 10 times already, why would they bother paying us? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I see your point.
So maybe we tease them with this one, and then we just use it and don't talk about it for the rest. And then if they want us to mention it again,
or we just refer it to the ironing board.
The ironing board,
like it's just any old ironing board.
Yeah.
Even though, like, you've been leaning on it, I mean, I think we can put it through its paces.
It can take. I mean, just imagine if that collapsed.
That nearly felt like it was going to.
Yeah, it can take it.
Yeah.
Probably sit on that.
So
I feel confident. It's pretty sturdy.
Yeah, not bad, is it?
That's quite solid.
We put it through its paces.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well,
thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
Enjoyed that. Thanks, bro.
Thanks, bro.
That was great.
I hope do we hope you've enjoyed it? I don't know.
I do. What I hope you haven't feel like you've wasted part of your life.
Is this to me or is this to the viewer now?
Oh.
I've wasted a lot of my life.
I hope you. Well, yeah. There's no point me saying it to you. You already know you've wasted a lot of your life.
Because how low on self-esteem are you? I hope you don't finish it.
I hope you feel like you've wasted your life like I have.
Just imagine going to a social and just saying to everyone, I hope you don't feel this if you've wasted your life. They'll go, what? Today, talking with me.
Talking with me. Can you imagine that?
This is for the listeners and the viewers. Go on, you got to carry on. Carry on. Just to clarify.
Just to clarify, it's been worthwhile. And you get. Because, you know, when you watch a film, I get really angry if it's a bad film and I've watched it to the end and I feel I've just wasted an hour and a half, 2 hours of my life on a bad film. I hope you don't feel like that, angry towards us. I hope you feel like, you know, a smirk or a little... That would be cool.
Yeah.
And leave a, you know, do that whole, leave a comment thing. Why not?
Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, do all that stuff and you'll hear more of us talking on the Still Wondering podcast.
Great name.
Good, isn't it? Bab. We'll see you next week, bro.
Bye.
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 Oh, okay. Oh, God. How long were we?